Did you know that July is statistically the deadliest month for weather-related fatalities across the European Union? Heat alone kills an estimated 60,000 people in Europe during severe summer events, and right now, on Sunday the 19th of July, 2026, meteorologists are simultaneously monitoring multiple extreme weather threats stretching from the Iberian Peninsula in the west to the Balkans in the east. Southern Europe is gripped by a ferocious heat dome, with temperatures in parts of Spain and Greece pushing towards 44 degrees Celsius. At the same time, violent thunderstorm systems are sweeping through Central Europe. This is not a routine summer weather bulletin. The scale and complexity of today's situation across EU territory is genuinely alarming, and if you or anyone you know is currently in Europe, whether living there, traveling, or planning to fly out this week, this update is essential viewing. Stay with us, because we are going to take you through exactly what is happening, country by country, right now. Across the 27 member states of the European Union, national weather services are tracking a highly dangerous and complex pattern today. A powerful high-pressure system, commonly described as a heat dome, has locked itself over the Iberian Peninsula, pushing exceptionally hot and dry air northward and eastward across the Mediterranean basin. At the same time, the collision between this intense heat and cooler, moisture-laden Atlantic air masses is generating severe thunderstorm activity across France, Germany, and the Alpine regions. When meteorologists see two such contrasting systems operating simultaneously across the same continental landmass, the risk profile escalates sharply. Today's weather map for Europe shows red and orange alert zones covering more than a third of EU territory, with an estimated population of over 150 million people living within areas under some form of active weather warning. This is not limited to one country or one weather type, it is a continent-wide event, and it demands serious attention from everyone with connections to Europe today. Let us begin in the south, where conditions are most extreme. Spain, Portugal, Greece, and Italy are all experiencing severe to extreme heat today, the 19th of July, 2026. In Spain, the National Meteorological Agency EMET has issued red-level heat alerts for Andalusia and parts of Extremadura, with temperatures in Seville forecast to approach 43 to 45 degrees Celsius through the afternoon. Portugal's National Weather Institute, IPMA, has extended its orange-level heat warning across the Alentejo and Algarve regions, where temperatures are expected to reach 40 to 42 degrees. In Greece, the country's Civil Protection Authority has activated a Level 3 emergency protocol in Attica, the region encompassing Greater Athens, where the mercury is forecast to peak at 42 degrees today. Italy's most extreme heat is concentrated in Sicily and Sardinia, where temperatures are hovering around 40 degrees and wildfire risk is classified as extreme. In all four countries, authorities are urging citizens to avoid any outdoor activity between 11 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, drink at least 2 liters of water per hour during peak heat, and check on elderly neighbors and relatives who may be living alone. Moving north and east, the weather picture changes, but the danger does not diminish. France today is experiencing a dramatic split. The south is under orange heat alerts, whilst the north is bracing for severe thunderstorms that have already brought significant rainfall and disruption to Brittany and Normandy overnight. Germany's National Weather Service, the DWD, has issued Level 3 severe thunderstorm warnings for Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg, with wind gusts potentially reaching 80 to 90 km per hour and localized hail forecast. Austria and Slovenia are under similar warnings, with flash flooding risk in alpine valleys rated as particularly acute. In Belgium and the Netherlands, temperatures are considerably cooler than the south but are still running 4 to 6 degrees above the long-term average for the 19th of July, prompting national health authorities to issue heat stress advisories aimed specifically at elderly residents and outdoor workers. Even Denmark and Sweden are seeing unusual warmth, with Stockholm projected to reach 31 degrees today, a temperature that, whilst modest by Mediterranean standards, is notably high for Scandinavia in mid-July and is prompting public cooling center announcements in the Swedish capital. So which EU member states specifically require the greatest caution on this Sunday the 19th of July, 2026? Based on the totality of today's active alerts and observed conditions, 5 countries stand out above all others. First is Spain, particularly southern and inland regions including Andalusia, Extremadura, and Castilla-La Mancha, where extreme heat and wildfire risk are simultaneously at their highest. Second is Greece, especially Attica, the Peloponnese, and the eastern Aegean Islands, where civil protection emergency protocols are active and wildfire conditions are critical. Third is Portugal. The Alentejo and Algarve regions are under sustained extreme heat with severe wildfire risk across pine and eucalyptus forests that remain dangerously dry for months of below-average rainfall. Fourth is Italy, most acutely in Sicily and Sardinia, where temperatures consistently above 40 degrees are creating life-threatening conditions for outdoor workers and tourists. Fifth is Germany and Austria, where the risk is different in character but no less serious, violent storms with the potential for flash flooding, particularly in low-lying urban areas and narrow mountain valleys. If you have any travel plans, family members, or business interests in any of these 5 nations today, the message is clear: monitor official government alerts continuously and have contingency plans in place. The human cost of today's conditions is already being registered across EU health systems. Heat-related hospital admissions have increased sharply in Spain and Greece over the past 72 hours, with emergency departments in Seville, Athens, and Palermo all reporting elevated numbers of patients presenting with heat exhaustion and, in the most serious cases, full heat stroke, a medical emergency with a fatality rate that rises steeply without rapid cooling intervention. EU public health authorities are specifically focusing on 3 vulnerable groups: people aged 65 and over, particularly those living alone without air conditioning, young children and infants, who cannot regulate body temperature effectively, and individuals with pre-existing cardiovascular or respiratory conditions, for whom extreme heat significantly increases the risk of cardiac events. The UV index today across southern Europe is rated at level 11, the maximum extreme classification, meaning that unprotected fair skin can begin to burn in fewer than 10 minutes of direct exposure to midday sun. In areas under storm alerts in Germany and Austria, flash flooding poses additional risks of contaminated drinking water and structural damage to infrastructure. The EU Civil Protection Mechanism has been placed on coordinated standby to facilitate cross-border emergency response if the situation deteriorates further during the peak heat window this afternoon. Looking ahead to the next 48 to 72 hours, the situation across southern Europe is unlikely to ease in any meaningful way before Tuesday the 21st of July. The heat dome currently positioned over Iberia is forecast to remain stable, keeping temperatures in Spain, Portugal, and southern France at dangerous levels through at least Monday. Greece's heat is expected to reach its absolute peak today and tomorrow, with a slight moderation forecast from Wednesday onwards, though temperatures will still remain well above the seasonal average for late July even after that dip. The storm risk in Central Europe will shift eastward on Monday the 20th, bringing severe weather potential to Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary, with the Czech Republic also entering an elevated alert zone. For travelers flying into or out of airports in Germany and France, disruptions are already possible today and are likely to continue into Monday due to active storm cells in those corridors. The Copernicus Emergency Management Service, operated by the European Union, has indicated that forest fire conditions across the western Mediterranean basin will remain at critical risk levels for at least the next 5 days, with no significant rainfall forecast for southern Spain, Portugal, or Greece during that period. To bring today's update together, on Sunday the 19th of July, 2026, the European Union is facing a dual weather emergency. Southern EU states, Spain, Portugal, Greece, and Italy, are enduring dangerous heatwave conditions with extreme wildfire risk that is already stretching civil protection resources. Central EU states, Germany, Austria, Slovenia, and increasingly Slovakia, are facing a separate but equally serious threat from violent thunderstorms, flash flooding, and infrastructure disruption. Northern EU states are warmer than usual, with health advisories in place for vulnerable residents. The practical steps are straightforward but potentially life-saving. Check your national weather service before any travel within or to Europe this week. Stay indoors during peak heat hours of 11 to 5 in southern destinations. Drink water consistently rather than waiting until you feel thirsty. keep a portable charger available in case of power outages during storms, and register with your country's embassy alerts if you are a British traveler currently in a high-risk zone. The EU's Copernicus platform provides freely accessible, up-to-date satellite data in English and is well worth bookmarking. If today's briefing has been genuinely useful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you know who may be traveling in Europe this week, and subscribe for our daily weather intelligence updates so you are never caught off guard.